Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to use an Evolicious stamp to stamp a background mat for the main part of my layout. I'm going to use the same stamp and stamp over and over again to fill up the piece of paper. So first I'm going to line up my cardstock to my mat so that I kind of get a gist of stamping the first image in the middle so I can line it up correctly. I'm using VersaFine ink in smoky gray because it gives a really crisp image. So I stamp my first image in towards the middle at the top of my paper. Then I'm actually going to go to the edge and stamp on the right side. And then I'm going to stamp on the left side of the paper. This way I know my image will be lined up evenly spaced in the first row. The Evolicious stamps are made of deeply etched red rubber, and they really do give a really beautiful and crisp image. So in the second row, I'm stamping, offsetting the first row. So my images will be in between the two images from the first row. This is just to give a little more visual interest than just lining it up straight up and down on the piece of paper. So now I'm getting to the edge of the paper and I'm putting a piece of scrap paper on the side so that when I stamp half of it, half of the image will show up on my mat background, and the other half will just be caught on the stamp paper or the scrap paper. So now I'm going to speed up the video because I think you got the gist of how I'm filling up my background paper with stamp images. And it's actually pretty easy. So now I'm going to use my background paper, which is actually a very busy background paper, 12 by 12 paper from Studio Calico. And I'm building my layout on top of my white paper that I stamped with the cameras. And the reason I'm using this white paper with the lightly stamped with the gray cameras is because you can see that the background paper is very, very busy. So the white paper with the stamped cameras gives the eye kind of a break and a rest, and it kind of differentiates the main part of my layout from the background, and it makes it not look so busy everywhere. So that's kind of the purpose of why I used a gray stamped image on white background to kind of center and ground the main part of my layout. So I sped up the video because otherwise it would be very long, and I just have a lot of you can see that I have some indecision about where to place things, and then I move things around until I'm happy with it, and then I glue it down. But at this point, I'm pretty much happy with the placement of things, and I'm just adding more embellishments. I'm using foam adhesive to just give more dimension to that piece of embellishment, that tag from Evilicious. And then I use my tiny attacher to attach a tab to my photo. And I'm adding a little bit of red heart washi tape on the right side because I have a red striped arrow on the left, and my photos also has red in it. I'm just trying to balance it out by putting a little bit of red on the right side also. I actually had a really hard time threading the twine into the holes on that chipboard flag. So I'm glad that you aren't watching it in real time, because it took me a long time to thread the twine through those little tiny holes. That piece of craft cardstock with the stars punched out, I used the positive image or the punched out stars and glued it to my layout. And then I'm also using obviously the negative piece with the stars punched out. And now I'm coloring my wood veneer heart or stars with a Sharpie glitter paint pen. I love the Sharpie glitter paint pen because it's just so easy to color in the wood veneer stars. So here's my layout, finished layout. You can see the different parts of it and how it was built, and I hope you enjoyed it.